Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexseal Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much. So welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. My name is Andy with Boatworks today, and this week we're going to be getting the templates made for this transom. But specifically what I'm going to be showing you is the process that I've found to be the fastest, easiest, and just most accurate way to create these templates. Whether you're going to be trying to duplicate a bulkhead or transom or an entire deck, you can scale this process up or down to really fit anything that you got coming up. So now the beauty of this process is that these templates are stupid simple, and they're sturdy enough that you'll be able to reuse them over and over if you need to. And best of all, it's very, very inexpensive. You use minimal tools and probably a lot of the stuff you might already have on hand. So in order to do this, you essentially only need four things. Main one being, well, these are the little strips that I cut out last weekend. These are just little 3-inch wide, roughly 1/16 inch thick little pieces of strips of door skin. You're also going to need a utility knife for cutting it, some type of a sander. I like using this little belt sander just because it's fast and easy, but really any type of sander will work, even a little DA, it'll work just fine. And lastly is a good hot glue gun. Now I want to qualify one small detail on the glue gun. You want to try and find one that's considered like a high temp glue gun. These little Mickey Mouse crafty ones, they may still work, but they're considered more of like a low temp kind of a glue gun, and well, the adhesive or the glue that they use on those, it's just not real strong. It may still work if you're going to be kind of gentle handling your templates after they're made, but these high temp ones, the bond is actually stronger than the wood itself. So I really like using these. They're not that much more expensive, and they're just a lot more versatile. Now the glue gun that I'm using is made by Sure Bonder. Now this is more of an industrial grade glue gun, but I did find some less expensive units that will work perfectly well for what we're going to be doing here. Still by the same company. They're found them up on Amazon. I'll include links down below if you want to check them out, whether you buy it or not. That's fine. I'm sure there are many other brands out there, but this is just the one that I'm most familiar with. And what we're going to be left with when this is all said and done is a lattice style template that's lightweight and it's rigid enough that you can actually trace around it accurately. That's always been kind of one of my beasts when you try to use like plastic sheeting or cardboard. The edges, they're not rigid enough to actually push a marker up against and trace it. This works extremely, extremely well. So I'm going to get started up in this corner right here. And at least to kind of rough out the shape, you kind of just need to eyeball it a little bit by hand. But I'm going to hold it up so that this top edge is just starting to touch right around in here. So make a little mark there, and then I'm going to mark where it comes down on the sides here. And just to kind of save a little bit on the sanding, I'm going to come in and just kind of trim off the majority of it with the razor so that I don't make as much dust. Now that this is going to fit in here a bit easier, I'm going to have it recessed back maybe a ½ inch or so. And with the marker, I'm just going to come in and scribe the exact shape. Let's see how we did here. Right there, looks pretty good to me. So now I need to hold this in place, and that's where the glue gun's going to come in. Now, I don't want to glue this on here permanently. I just want to add enough glue just to kind of hold and tack it in place, and that's it. So I'm just going to put just a little drop like that. Slide it into place. Hold it for 2 seconds. Done. So now I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to repeat that same process on all these corners, and I'll bring it back when this is all set. So now with the corners and the bottom radiuses here mapped out, that's really the end of the detail work. And in total, I'd say this probably took to do these, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, maybe 10 minutes tops, maybe. So right now, we're gonna be laying in sections to basically connect all the corners. And well, once we get that done, then there's one last little step to kind of fill in all the details along the sides and along the top and bottom. But I think that's gonna be pretty straightforward. Now, when you're doing these ones, here's where you want to actually use quite a bit of glue. This is not what you want to have coming apart. Now, off camera, basically I cut a bunch of, well, just little chunks, just little pieces like this. So now, in order to get this top area mapped out, then about every inch, we're just going to come in and glue a tab, matching the angle this way as well as the height, and that should give us a perfect profile all along the top. Told you it was hot. All right, well, this template is done. Towards the very end there, I added a couple extra pieces. Basically this piece going down the middle as well as these two going off to the side. Basically, I just added those as stiffeners because I wanted to make sure that, top to bottom, this wasn't able to compress as well as side to side. I wanted to keep this as rigid as possible, just so it maintains its shape while I'm tracing it onto the Coosa. Now, one thing I did notice when I was taking this out is that I actually had to bend this to pop it out of the channel in the transom here. And while this is still pretty flexible, the 1 inch thick piece of Coosa that I'm going to be laying down here first, well, that's not quite so much. So basically what that tells me is I need to do a little bit more cleanup and basically remove some more material on the boat side, down along these two corners down here as well as over in here. Now, I do think that it's going to be something I'm going to have to do eventually anyways. So I think I am going to come in and basically cut the last bit of the stringer completely off. And that'll just make it easier to get these pieces in and out. And and then just a bunch of grinding and thickness removal down along over in here specifically. This is all built up when the previous owner did whatever it is that they did. But I think I'm going to take care of all that off camera over the weekend, just so that starting on Monday then I'm going to be able to basically take this template, get hopefully all of the Coosa traced out and cut and laminated and in place. So for right now, I think right here is going to be a good place to end this video. So as always, I hope you found this informative. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. thank you in advance. If you have any questions, comments, please leave those down below. I'll do my best to get back with you. And as always, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.